All right, so today's is something that has been on the forefront of my mind for a while. This is a video that I've been really wanting to make, and it's pretty much like the very last Blu-ray buyer's guide that you're ever going to need, a comprehensive place to just go and find everything. So this is something that I've been working on for a little bit, but today the question was asked, boutique Blu-ray labels, what am I buying? Where am I getting them? And then some like pros and cons. And that question was asked during a live stream today. So then I was like, you know what? Today is the best day to make this video. And I wanted to dive in because there's so many people that are new to collecting movies, and there's people that are just getting back into it. So if you've been, you were a collector a long time ago, you took a break, you're coming back, and then all of a sudden you're hit with boutique labels, all these different names, you're just like, where do I go? And it can be very overwhelming. And so as somebody that has been buying movies for over 25 years, this is just some of the things that I really got into, and I got into it kind of hard. And I know it's not for everybody. Some people just want to get the disc, they want the movie, they want to watch it, they don't care how it looks, they don't care about the package. I get it. This isn't for everybody. So the video, I wanted to make this available for everybody. So we're going to talk about the boutique labels and the reasons why you might want to get one over the other. We're going to dive into all that towards the end. Right now in the very beginning, I'm just going to talk about where to get your physical media and moving forward, because a lot less of it's in stores. I think the only store right now other than specialty shops and secondhand shops is Walmart. I don't even think Target has anything anymore because I think they only do online stuff now. So, and even the Walmarts are kind of hit or miss now. So most people are talking about Amazon, getting your stuff there. Most of the links are there. If you pre-order anything, if you're looking at stuff on blu-ray.com, then the link is going to automatically take you over to Amazon most of the time. But then, as you talk about that, the very first thing here is blu-ray.com. It's a great place to go to type in a movie that you're looking for, but also on the homepage, there's going to be tons of information of what's coming out, new releases. There's also forums you can join through blu-ray.com, so you can talk to other collectors and really just dive into this. But then there's also not only the release schedule of what's coming out over the next couple months, there's that, but then there's also reviews and stuff. So blu-ray.com is just a really great hub to get started and not get so overwhelmed. But then the other thing is join a community, join a Reddit forum, follow a favorite YouTuber, and just kind of be involved in that community, and you're going to get all of the information you need. And along the way, you might change your mind, you might change your favorites, and that's perfectly fine. But as we go, that's the very first thing I really recommend, hitting up blu-ray.com and just checking it out. But other than that, I want to dive into the best places to buy physical media, and everything I talk about, all the links are going to be down below, so you're going to be able to follow this very easily. So the very first place I love to get physical media from is Hamilton Book. The reason I love to go there is you got $4 shipping, whether you buy one title or you buy 10 titles. No matter what, it's $4 shipping. So yes, it's an online bookstore and there is a physical store somewhere. I'm just not sure where it is, but I've been ordering from them for years now, and one of my favorites, because a lot of times you can get a lot of like new old stock for $3, $4, even $5 a title. Still brand new, still sealed. Recently I just got something. It was stamped Best Buy exclusive, and they haven't carried movies in about a year now. So that was just kind of cool. But yeah, you're able to get a lot of stuff that way. But then they also have some new stuff. I picked up Desperado on 4K. I feel that I got a good deal on it. It wasn't as low as $5, but I think it was a couple dollars off the original price. I was able to also pick up a boutique label that was available on Vinegar Syndrome's website. So it was Cinematograph. It was something I picked up there, and it just happened to be on Hamilton Book, and it was the same price that Vinegar Syndrome was selling it for. But I was already ordering through Hamilton Book. The $4 shipping, it was a no-brainer. I didn't have to start a whole new checkout process and then pay shipping. It was just really nice that they had what I wanted all in one little hub. So that's a great place to kind of check out every now and again. Sign up for their email list, and then they'll let you know when they got new stock in. You can always just check them out. Really a great thing. And then you can even organize the entire, whatever you're looking at. Blu-rays, 4Ks, or DVDs, whatever you're looking at, you can organize it into newest releases or newest available. So you can set that up, and so you can just check out what they got brand new, see if it's something you want to grab. But it's something that I probably check out once a month, and I probably order every 2 to 3 months. I put an order in. So just a really great place to go. Now, the next place I love to shop and I like to recommend is Groov.com. Now, this is something that it came up on my Black Friday. This is a great place to get some deals video, and it took a good majority of it because they had some great deals. And all year long, they generally do. You can always find a sale through Groov.com, but it's just a hub of quite a few different labels, and they have all the newer stuff. So you have Blu-rays and 4Ks, and just a really good place to get some brand new physical media. Now, that on top of that, if you wanted to start getting into boutique labels or importing movies, now I want to just make sure that you know that some things are region locked. So if you don't know anything about region locking, I'll link a video that I did earlier at the end of this, and you'll be able to check that out. But some movies are locked to the region that they're in. Most 4K movies, not all, but most 4K movies are region free because they're supposed to be, but there have been some cases where some are region locked. So you're going to want to, if you start getting into the international importing, don't be afraid of it. There's plenty of region free places to go and movies to get, but there have been some issues of region locking. So a region-free player, and I've seen them as cheap as $100, is something you might want to think about or at least do some research on. But as you go into, getting into some of these boutique labels and thinking about going outside of the country, Diabolic DVD, Orbit DVD here in America are great places to go. And, Deep Discount is another place. So with those, you're going to be able to, those are more of like hub places. So as you go, you're going to be able to get a lot of the new stuff. So something like this just came out. I was able to get this through Orbit DVD, and they had it available. They have a pretty good price on it, pretty quick shipping, and stuff like this. Now, when you order through those companies, you're generally going to get it a little bit earlier than if you order through Amazon or somewhere else. And so it's just a great place to go to get more physical media. Now, going through like Diabolic DVD, Orbit DVD, those places, you're going to be in a position where you're going to buy the stuff that everyone's talking about, people are excited about locally, like something like Galaxy Quest. This was available on both of those websites at a really good price, and anybody that ordered from them got it really early. Anybody that ordered through Amazon got it on time or maybe late. So going through those places, one, it's a hub for many different labels, including some of that international stuff. So as you start shopping, that's a great place to get any of your local stuff. But if you start wanting to get into some of these other labels and pick up something, maybe one of your all-time favorite movies is released in Australia or is released in the UK, and like American Pie, the American Pie 4K just came out through 88 Films, which is a UK label. So you're going to have to import that some way, whether it be Amazon UK or one of these other labels or one of these other sites like Diabolic or Deep Discount or Orbit DVD. And, that's just a really cool thing. But again, that 4K, it's region free. But if it came with a Blu-ray, which I think it did, that's going to be region locked to region B. So again, it's one of those things you might want to think about getting a region free player just to access the extra features, the special stuff that's on the extra disc that might be region locked. On to shopping at Amazon. So there's a couple benefits of it, but and I made a whole entire video of some of my frustrations with Amazon. I'll link that at the end at some point. But this is something that Amazon's positives always outweigh the negatives for me, as frustrated as I have been. The savings are huge. I have definitely saved a ton of money. It gets to me. I'm able to quickly have all of my information in there in just one click, pre-order, and not have to worry about stuff and not have to re-enter any information. It's always just there. So there's a convenience thing. But then at the same time, if there's like 10 new titles that get announced this week and then another 10 titles that get announced next week, and out of those 20 titles, you might want 15 of them and you want to pre-order them, and there's stuff that you want to get, instead of having to fork over all that cash at once, with the Amazon pre-order, you don't pay for anything up front. Through all the other websites, when you pre-order, you're paying for it immediately. So as you're doing it, the Amazon one can help you with your budget because you're not hit with that. So if there's an item that's going to be released next month, and then there's going to be three movies that are going to be released 2 months later, you pay for them when they ship. And so it's able to help you with your budget a little bit. And so that's one of the other reasons I still use Amazon. And it's just a big benefit. So you have the savings, the fact that you don't have to pay for the pre-orders up front. And then at some point, if you change your mind, you can cancel it. It's not a big deal. I just really like that. So there is a lot of benefits through going through Amazon, but I've shopped pretty much all of them, and I continue to rotate how I do things based on the moment. So it's just sometimes it's a little cheaper to get it somewhere else, but then if I get it through Arrow Video and I get my savings, maybe it's not going to be as good as getting it through Amazon. So that's just one of the things that I use. But then also going through like any of the other like Orbit DVD or Diabolic DVD or all those, you're also going to pay for that up front as well. And while it might not ship immediately, also with those sites, if you buy 2 titles that are available today, but there's a pre-order item in your cart, you're not getting any of it until the pre-order item is released. And that has been my experience on all of the websites. It's been my experience on anything I have had shipped internationally. And sometimes it's not a big deal, depending on how much stuff is coming in. If you are ordering a lot, that might be a help. And recently it was for me. So I did a big order through Indicator, and I picked up a lot of things on sale, but there was a pre-order item in there, the Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder box set. And I didn't get any of my stuff until that released. But in the same time, I had ordered a ton of stuff through the whole entire month of November. And I was just trying to get through all of it. So it wasn't a big deal to wait on that for me. But there have been times where there's been like 1 or 2 movies that I really, really wanted and then was disappointed because as I was like, oh man, there was a pre-order in there and you don't get it until the pre-order releases. So that's just something to think about. With Amazon, you don't have that issue. You can buy the stuff, get shipped, you can buy one item, and if you have Amazon Prime, you get the free shipping. So there is a lot of benefits there. But again, I did the whole video of my frustrations. You're going to want to check that out if you're going to be doing a lot of orders through Amazon. But in general, not an overall bad experience. And then the benefit of being able to order Amazon all over the world. So in the regular Amazon United States website, there is some things that show up that have been from other places at a little bit of a higher price. But you can easily switch it over from the country code to where you are to Amazon UK, Amazon Japan, Amazon Germany, Amazon France. I just had something show up from there. And so you do have to switch back and forth and want to check your emails because I did pre-order something. I forgot about it. They charged my card. It showed up and I was like, oh, I don't remember ordering this because I already had the UK version. And now I have the France version as well because I wasn't paying attention. So that's another thing. It is easy, but it's also easy to kind of not pay attention to. So Amazon has a lot of benefits that I still use and I will use, and I think they outweigh some of my frustrations. Now, with that, one of the labels that people really get into is Vinegar Syndrome. Now, you can shop directly through their website, but you can also get it through Diabolic DVD, Orbit DVD, and something like this, Beastmaster. Just a really cool release that they put out. And this one is with the slipcover. I think that's all sold out now. And I think the only thing you can get now is this version of it with no slipcover. But still, something that I'm pretty sure only has a Vinegar Syndrome release right now. And the only place to get it. Now, that place is... it's one of my favorites to go to. They have amazing art, beautiful things, but I don't have a ton of Vinegar Syndrome releases. I have a few of my favorites and then some of these like higher end things because they do a little bit of everything. They do a little bit of schlock, cult classics, things you may have never heard before, and apparently some rated X adult erotica, because when I bought Beastmaster, I accidentally bought this thinking it was like a spoofy comedy because everything else I was buying was that. I also bought Hell Comes to Frogtown and some other cult classics, and I bought this. This is an adult film. And it's 100% a movie with a story and everything, but also 100% a rated X adult film. And I did not know what it was. It's still in the collection because what am I going to do with it? I can't donate it to Goodwill. So it's one of those things I kind of have. But you be careful what you're looking at, because I saw it real quick and I thought it was just one of those like Seniors, or one of those like old 80s or 70s raunchy comedies. It's raunchy, all right, I'll tell you that. But then they have stuff like this. So this is Showgirls. This is one they call the VSU line. So this is a really higher end premium collector's edition, and it's a nice premium box set with a magnetic cover here. And again, you could buy the standard version. You didn't have to get this higher end set, and so it's not for everybody. So something like this you can get directly from them, but you could also buy this stuff through Orbit DVD, Diabolic DVD, and if you're just buying the one item, it's a great place and a great hub to get stuff. Now, as we talk about that, the next thing is getting them direct from the companies. So we talked about Vinegar Syndrome. It's a great place. They also have a membership where you can just, or a subscription service where you just do your monthly service and they're going to send you some movies. Some people love that. That one's not for me. I like to pick out what I'm getting. I do like surprises, but at that higher price point, I just kind of opted out on that. But with that, it's just a great place to go because you're going to get it directly from the company. A lot of times they have great sales. Vinegar Syndrome's one that does sales throughout the year, and they don't just do like one sale. They do this special thing where it's like a new sale every single day, and you can just kind of stock up, or everything kind of stacks a little bit and more savings. It's just a really cool thing that they offer, and so that's something I like to check out. The next place I like to go is Kino Lorber. Now, they have all kinds of great things. They don't really have just it's not really just kind of pigeonholed into one category. They release pretty much everything. They have cult classics, they have comedies, they have dramas, they have some old stuff, they have some new stuff, and pretty much everything in between. Now, the thing about Kino Lorber is they're pretty simple and plain, and as far as boutique labels go, the packaging and everything, very lackluster. But that's also going to reflect in the price and what you're getting for this stuff. So I think the price for what you're getting is on point. Great deal, great place to get stuff. And I love to stock up when I go through their site. I don't think they do any they don't do a membership, but I don't think they do any kind of loyalty program. But I do love to get when they have the sales. And they have sales multiple times a year. And if you sign up for their email list, you'll be notified when they have stuff. But they have great deals, and again, all over on the prices. I picked up Kino Lorber titles for just a few dollars, and then good sales are about $17 on new stuff. So you're going to be able to get some great deals there. And I picked up, I have probably close to 200 Kino Lorber titles, and most everything I've ever purchased for them has been on sale. But like just an example, one of the things I absolutely love about them is the packaging is simple, yes, but they use some of the original movie posters for the artwork. And so you have something like this. This is a comedy from the 60s with Dick Van Dyke. This is just a great, I love the movie poster on there. But then you have this from the 80s. This is just another comedy. It's My Science Project. So just completely two ends of the spectrum, stuff that people don't even think about. So Kino Lorber is a great place to get stuff from. Absolutely love them. But with that, you don't have the bells and whistles, the extra features, the things that as a collector I really appreciate. So you're not going to get into your artwork. All the discs are the exact same, boring black and gray Kino Lorber as is the spine. So when these all line up on the shelf, you have that standard Kino Lorber black. It's all standard. But with a standard, that's why your price is what it is. With this here, you're going to have all your information there, but it also tells you what your special features are, and the way it's laid out. Every single one of these in the back here is going to have this one spot that's going to tell you that it came out in the year, if it's color or black and white, how many minutes, the aspect ratio, if it's 1080p or 4K, and whatever subtitles might be available. So everything is laid out very nicely with Kino Lorber. I don't think you can go wrong with them. They have some great titles. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is a few titles under this one umbrella, Shout Studios. That's something you're going to hear a lot from people because they put out a lot of things. They have an entire Scream Factory line, a whole Shout Factory line, and these Shout Select titles. So they have a whole bunch of stuff. Then they do anime, they do all kinds of other things that people might be interested, all under their website and umbrella. You're going to be able to check that out. Just a really great catalog of movies. Now, this is something here, this is one of my all-time favorites, it's why I pulled it, but Shout Select here is something that, one, they have this little icon, and then it's numbered. You're going to be able to put these on your shelf. They are numbered if you're trying to collect all of them. That's just kind of easy to be able to do that and have, oh, I'm missing number 68, that's the one I got to get next. It's a really nice thing to do, but with Shout Select, and I know a lot of people don't consider these boutique Blu-rays anymore because the company has kind of gotten so big. But this is something that I think it's just a bare minimum standard. Not really huge on the special features on these usually, but just the simple interior art, the art on the disc. I think that's just the bare minimum for some of these collector boutique labels. So that's something that, one, I really appreciate. But again, under Shout Studios, it might not be the label themselves, it might just be the movie that you want. So if this is a movie you need, this might be the only place that has it. And that's just something that has happened to me quite a few times where there's a title that I have and I don't particularly love the label as much as some of the other ones, but I only have the title because I love the movie and I have to own it. So this is something here. I was like, I don't know of another label that has used cars, and this is one of my all-time favorite movies. Absolutely love this one. And as we're talking about Shout Studios, another one you're going to hear all the time is the Scream Factory stuff. So the Scream Factory, you know, this is just, again, it's more that studio size release, just very simple. They do some really nice commissioned artwork on these covers, which are also reversible, and you can always usually get the original art on the other side. So I do think there's a Scream Factory in my collection that has nothing on it. I think it's just boring and plain. And I also think it came in an Echo case, but I'd have to double check on that. But this one here, you have the art on the disc. Just a really nice way to go if you're looking at that. And Scream Factory almost always is going to be horror. I have a couple things that I would never even classify as horror that I think are labeled under the Scream Factory label, which is right here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so Big Trouble in Little China, I would never classify this as a horror movie ever, and it's under the Scream Factory. So it is one of those things. It's just kind of mostly horror, and then some things that are just maybe, I guess, harder to classify. Another reason to shop directly through Shout Factory or Shout Studios or however you want to call this website is the rewards program. So you sign up, it's free to sign up, you get it's their membership, and then as you spend money, you get a percentage kickback, and so that turns into rewards points, which is a couple dollars off. I think like when it kicks in, I think it's like $5 for whatever they offer. So it's something that you can definitely save by specifically shopping directly through them. And then that way, you know, you're not having to worry about when your item's going to come, because generally when I've purchased directly through Shout Factory, it's showed up to my house about roughly a week before everybody else was getting their pre-orders through other places. So it's just something that I highly recommend going directly through Shout Factory website. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is Warner Archive. Now, this is something that, one, I absolutely love it, but I think it's an underrated label because there's no real standard where it's just like, all your cult classics are here, all your such and such films are here, like Scream Factory or Shout Select. You have more of like a theme with that genre. But this is just basically all the Warner Archive stuff that is, you know, the old back catalog stuff that's probably a classic. And so this one here, I think you used to be able to get them through their website, but now I think it's all rolled into Amazon. But I know that you can get some of this stuff on Orbit DVD, Diabolic DVD. I've definitely gotten stuff there. And then also, I think I've seen some of these titles on Shop MVD. I'd have to double check that one. But just a really great thing here. But you have different titles, and so that's why I think it just kind of very underrated, because this is something you might not try to collect all the Warner Archives because you might not like all the films. But they have some great classics from the 80s, like One Crazy Summer, along with this Doris Day film, The Glass Bottom Boat. Two completely different films, but both of them from the same label. You have Pump Up the Volume, just another hidden gem that was on that. Just a great Blu-ray here, and just one of my favorite films. But yeah, I never expected this to be on Warner Archive, because I always kind of thought of it like this. This is a movie I think should be on a Warner Archive, where some of the other ones I'm like, why is it getting that release? And so like something like King Kong, that makes sense to me. So I think that's why it might be underrated. I absolutely love them, and I'm not knocking them for what they do. I really do appreciate them. But yeah, there's no really rhyme or reason why the movies are there, you know, instead of just a regular Warner release. And so these ones here, you know, Corvette Summer with Mark Hamill, Annie Potts, and I love the classic artwork. So you have a bunch of different options with them. And again, you never know what you're going to get. They just announced Just Friends, one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies. That's coming out to Warner Archive. And again, when I think of it, I always think of like, you know, your old classics should be there, but they pretty much release whatever they want. And so there's just some goodness there, some hidden gems to be found. But yeah, that's a great place to get stuff. But again, yeah, I think they have an entire Warner Archive store kind of built into Amazon. Another place to get some really good cult classics and some old, you know, B-movie Roger Corman stuff. You're looking at, this one is one of my favorites. It's Film Masters. They do an amazing job at restorations. They have their site, but then when you go to buy their stuff, I think it does take you to either Amazon or Shop MVD. So when I get my stuff, it comes from MVD. So I'm going to have that link down below. But yeah, this was a 2-pack double feature. Both movies were restored. They put a lot of love and care into everything that they do. So absolutely love Film Masters. And then the fact that they could easily put the movies on one disc. They don't. Even though it's a double feature, you're getting 2 of these. Now, some of these older B movies, especially the Roger Corman stuff, I have an entire DVD box set of Roger Corman classics where I think on the DVD, so you're going to have major compression, is I think 3, maybe 4 movies total. Like there's a ton of movies like crammed onto one disc. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but there's more than one. There's definitely more than one on those DVDs. And so the fact that not only are you getting 4K restorations from original camera negatives on this particular film here, each one's on their own disc, and it's just a really great thing to get. Absolutely love them. If you're into B movies, check out Film Masters. It's a great place to get movies. All right, so then you have Arrow Video. Now, Arrow Video, you can do a few things. You can do their regular standard release, or you can do, sometimes they offer premium versions of their movies, and they haven't been doing that on all of them, but they've done it on quite a few, especially very recently. And so this one is Barbarella. This was a premium edition, thicker box set, but then when Trick or Treat got released, that's all that was available. Was just this slipcover box set version. And so it doesn't happen all the time, but if it's one of your all-time favorite movies, or it's something that you hold in higher regard, you might want to opt for the premium edition, because with all the extras that it's going to come with, you're also going to get a book chock full of extra information. Sometimes the books are a little bit thicker, and this is just something Barbarella. One, I think is just a fun film, but it's just I think they did an amazing job on the restorations, but everything that's included, I think it's worth what you're getting. And obviously it's not for everybody, but you can buy this stuff standard. You can buy just the disc, and that is a really nice thing. I know there's a conversation that a lot of premium editions aren't necessary, but if it's your all-time favorite film and you're collecting movies, of course it is. But you could just buy this all by itself. And again, this is reversible, so you could get that artwork on the other side. Something that when I have this artwork on the box, I do like to switch over the slipcovers. Another thing with Arrow Video is you're going to be able to sign up and get rewards points. So as you get the rewards points as you're buying stuff, that's just going to turn into money off and savings. So that's just a really great thing to shop Arrow Video specifically, as opposed to getting them in other places. Next, the place I like to really get movies from is Umbrella Entertainment out of Australia. Now, they offer free shipping over, I think it's $140 or $150. And so when you order stuff from them, again, they have a lot of options where you can get the higher end premium set or you can just buy the disc. And so they have that. It's just a really nice thing. But on the international shipping, buying directly through them, I think it's totally worth it. So with this, you're looking at this entire big box set. You didn't have to get this, and they had different versions. I missed out on the bigger, more expensive set, so this was one step down from that. But again, you could just buy. You don't need all the books. You don't need the thing. You just need the movie. You just buy this, and they have that. So Umbrella Entertainment is a nice one. I absolutely love this version of the movie, but again, it wasn't necessarily the label. I love the label, but it was the movie. Pretty much whoever put this movie out, it didn't matter who it was, I was buying the movie no matter what. I'm glad Umbrella did, because I think they do an amazing job. I think, one, to have the original artwork there. I personally hate this big ugly banner, so I'm kind of disappointed that they did that, especially it being a boutique label. But 99% of the time it sits in this box on the shelf and that's what I see, so that's why I bought it. But then it also has this slipcover, so if you didn't get this version and just had the slipcover version, you could have this. It covers it up. It's really nice. I never checked if it was reversible. Probably isn't. No, it is. It actually is. I've never checked. So, oh yeah, I think I did check. So yeah, a lot of the UK stuff, the Australian stuff has that. German has that, the rating label on the front, and you can switch it over. So yeah, I probably did that day one. Absolutely hate that, but I understand it's something they do. And not all the labels that I've gotten allow you to do that. So I think my German ones do. This obviously did, but I think there were some British ones that I wasn't able to switch it out and have that on the front, but some allow you to do it. And it fits pretty snug. So this is, again, it's something that Umbrella is one of my favorites, but again, this particular movie wouldn't have mattered who put it out. I was buying it, and again, it's just one of those things. Is this, if in your collecting journey, is this what you're into? Is it, your all-time favorite movie, to have all the extra background information? Because a lot of people just assume that this sits on my shelf and it's just a pretty expensive tchotchke or decoration or dust collector. But for me, I read it, I go through it, I enjoy it, and I don't go this premium route on every single version, but my all-time favorites, of course I do. The next one I like to get movies from is MVD. Now, they have a Rewind collection, and then they have just their standard collection here. This one's a MVD Marquee. And then these ones, again, they had slipcovers originally, but I got them late, and slipcovers were all gone. But this one here is Men at Work, and the other one is Canadian Bacon. Again, you have reversible artwork. They each come with a little poster there. So some art on the disc, reversible artwork, not a bad deal. They all come in these clear cases. This one, art on the disc, reversible artwork. So these are just nice ones to get. I think the price point's great. These are classic films, and all of my MVD movies are either these 80s cult classics, or there's a couple the 4K horror movies. I have Swamp Thing. I have Ghoulies on 4K. So it's just kind of, that's pretty much what you're getting. You're getting some of your cult classics, a lot of great 80s films. So MVD is a nice place to get movies from. But again, each one's different. If I were to just kind of rank them in my favorites, MVD would make it up there. Another place that people talk about all the time is Criterion. Criterion is just, they put out some awesome stuff, but they put out a lot of it, and there's quite a few movies that fit more of like your film aficionado, and some people call it a film snob. My wife calls some of those movies film snob movies, and I like them. I absolutely do. But they have a lot. They have Princess Bride is on Criterion. They got a ton of movies. Thelma and Louise just made it. Wall-E, the Disney cartoon, made it. But this one here, this is The Irishman, and the packaging on this is in your cardboard. I'm not a big fan. I like my collection in the like the labels, because I kind of have them all organized together on a shelf. I like them to just be on the shelf the same way. So I would prefer every single one of them be in the plastic case like this one is, but they don't do that. But so again, it's about the movie for me as opposed to the version of it, the label. But the artwork on there I think is just top notch. It's something you wouldn't be able to do very well with the standard version. So then this one here comes with the booklet. I heard you paint houses, the 2 discs, and this was a Netflix movie. So I was surprised, and I think everybody else was surprised that it got a physical release, specifically from Criterion. So this was a day one purchase for me. Absolutely love the film, and I think it's just top notch. So that right there is one Criterion version. But this is another one. This is The Game. I love the artwork on here. Something I had never seen before, because I don't remember the original artwork on it. I think it's just Michael Douglas on the cover for that original DVD. So this is something that, as soon as I saw this, I had to have it. It's one of my all-time favorite movies from the 90s. It's a psychological thriller. You got Sean Penn, Michael Douglas. Oh, it's just a good one. So this one here, and then the nice thing about Criterion, it's probably easier to see on this one. So they do this part of their label, says the Criterion Collection here, but then the date the movie came out, 2019. So it's just really nice. And then you also get that on the spine. You got the spine number. Really, just I love how they do their packaging. I love pretty much most of my Criterion films. Absolutely love, top notch. There's a few in the collection that, I think they were probably more one and done films, and so I have to kind of go through those. But this is something that I watch all the time, and I highly recommend it. And as you open this up with this version here, you're going to get the art on the disc. You're going to get the extra stuff here, the little booklet. And that's just a really nice thing. You're going to get all this background stuff about the movie, some photos from the movie. And so I know this is not for everybody. People just like the discs. But if you're getting into the boutique labels, I think this is the way to go. Again, and if you don't know what the movie's about, like, this might not make sense to you, but once you know what the movie's about, that key, it just kind of clicks. So it's just the nice little touches, why I like them. But yeah, you're going to get different versions with Criterion. So again, it's not about the label, it's more about the movie itself. But Criterion as a whole, if you're just talking about just the disc, I think they do phenomenal transfers and great special features, and just I like the standard that they hold. With Criterion's something that lots of people talk about because everybody gets excited for the 50% off sale. They do it twice a year. It's like all month long. You go to your Barnes & Noble and you can stock up. You can get Blu-rays for $20 and you get 4Ks for $25. Well, the thing is, in general, all year long, I'm buying those movies for like $35. I'm getting some of those for. So I think that sale is just kind of a jacked up price for Barnes and Noble, and then so everybody feels good about it, because all year long I'm getting them for 35, and then when the sale happens I'm getting them for 25. It's still cheaper, but I don't think it's specifically 50% off. So I like to get mine directly through Criterion, because they also have a rewards loyalty program where you can basically use those coupons during the sale and get some free movies. It's just a great way to do it, especially if you're buying all year long. And that's just what I like to do. But a lot of people like to stock up through Barnes & Noble and or Amazon during those sales, and that's pretty much the only time they really buy them. But I do buy my Criterions all year round. Now here's another UK label, Indicator. Now this is a label that I've been buying for a couple of years now, and they do something similar. They got numbered editions, just a nice beautiful package. It's the same size case as the Arrow videos, so it's definitely a little bit thicker. But this is an old Ray Harryhausen film. It came from Beneath the Sea. They got a bunch of stuff though. I've got a crime thriller. They have a ton of these stop motion Ray Harryhausen films. But then I just picked up Ghost of Mars. So it's another label that they got a wide variety and pretty much something for everybody. Now this one here, the interior, it's not reversible. I did have a couple I think that were reversible, but this one is just going to show you some of the other versions of the movies that they have. You got some disc art, and then some just you know, nice limited editions they're advertising, but I like the disc art on there. I think it's just top notch. And again, this one happens to be region free, but I have a ton on that shelf from this label that are region locked to region B, and you need a region free player for them. But as you buy that, it'll tell you at the very bottom, like right before you add it to cart, it'll tell you what region it's in. So you just pay attention. And then they have some that are like 100% labeled US version. And so, you know, just click on that. But I did buy a couple that didn't say US version, and like this one, it says A, B, and C right on the back. So this one works no problem. Now here's something that a lot of American collectors get into. They got all kinds of films all over the place, a lot of your horror stuff. And this is something that I was seeing at Walmart for a long time. And so very early on in the inception of this. Now this version is number 31. So they've been doing it for a little while. But this release is from Vestron Video, and it's blue steel. Now this is something that, as far as this boutique labels go, the price point is usually on the very lower end, like $17, $19, like in the lower end for Blu-rays, but they always come with an echo case. So you can always switch that out. And I haven't switched it out because I think I'm going to be getting rid of this because I have the film. I already have it. And I don't collect every single version of these Vestron movies, but I have this film in the Imprint box. So same film, it's inside here, and Imprint from Australia, one of my all-time favorite labels, and they do these bigger boutique label or box sets, but they also do the standard slip edition. And so this one right here, just to compare, all right, here we go. So if this didn't have the box, it would have a slip box very similar to this. So there'd be a box, and then it would slide in and out like that. And so you could also, if they sell out, they eventually re-release these and put them in standard versions as well. But when it was brand new, it would have had a slip box. But as far as it's the same art, it actually does pop a little bit more on that Vestron there. Let's see if it pops there. Yeah, so it does pop a little bit more there on the Vestron Video, but as far as, you know, I'm just an Imprint fanboy. I absolutely love them. You're going to get the interior art, which you didn't get on the other one. It's, I'm pretty sure, the same thing. So this was a Lionsgate film, but I think, it says Lionsgate on it. I think it was a Lionsgate restoration. Not sure what they had done on this special feature. It doesn't say anything about any restoration or new scan or anything, so it seems like they might have just used the Lionsgate, which would have been the same thing that they used. Yep, Lionsgate. So it's more than likely 100% the exact same disc. I just prefer this version better. This one right here. So as we talk about the Imprint stuff, and I was saying how it was a standard slip. So this one here, breakdown. One of the things I like about it, again, you have your slip cover, one art, but then you have different art for the movie, and then you have the interior artwork. So Imprint, again, is just something 100% worth grabbing. And then as we compare a little bit more, this one right here, Nova Media, Slipbox, all their ones come from Slipbox, but then you have, this is a Korean thing. So this is something that none of the places in Diabolic or Orbit, none of them have this. I had to, you can get some of the Nova Media stuff on eBay, but you can go to their website, novamedia.com, or I'll link it down below. It's like Nova Media NM, I think is what it is. But you can order from them. But the downfall of ordering from them is it comes from Korea. So one, it's going to be a little bit more expensive already, and it comes from Korea, or South Korea. So then it takes forever to get here. I think the total time on this was like maybe 3.5 weeks before I got this in my hands. And then there was a point where, as it shipped out of Korea, the tracking stopped. So when it like switched carriers, the tracking didn't continue, and then it just showed up. And then so like I ordered another version. I ordered another Nova Media movie, and I did that one through eBay. So at least when eBay kind of was a little bit better at keeping track of it and where it was, and that when it landed in America, eBay knew it was clearing customs and all that stuff. So in that time period, the very first time I ordered Nova Media, it was kind of sketchy, thinking I was never getting it and I was out that money. And I think because it was from Korea, I think it was at like a much higher price point. I think it was like closer to like $50. So something that you have to take into account. But again, this is, you know, one of my all-time favorite movies. Having a nice premium edition that most people didn't have was important to me, because this version, there's only 1,050. So there's only 1,050 of this version of the movie. And that was just a little bit nicer than the standard Blu-ray that we got here. And I like the artwork and everything. As far as the movie goes, the transfer, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same transfer. So again, this was all about aesthetics. It was all about the packaging. And as a collector, that's more important to me. So now I want to dive into multiple versions of the same movie on different labels and why you might choose one over the other. Again, everyone's going to have their own thoughts and opinions on it, but the reality is, this stuff, you know, the disc is the most important thing. Watching the movie is the most important thing. But I like the packaging too. I think the entire presentation is good, and it really is important to me, and it comes real high up there. Like the movie's the most important, the packaging is second, and if, like I said before, if a movie was only available on one label, I'm picking it up, like no matter what. But if it has a cooler version on one of my favorite labels, I'm going to get rid of the other one and I'm going to go for the new one. Like, yeah, that's just me because I'm a collector. So you have Big Trouble in Little China from Arrow Video and Big Trouble in Little China from Screen Factory. They use the same original artwork there, but they do it a little differently, so each one pops. Each one of these is going to be reversible into their own commissioned artwork. All right, so when you switch that around, yeah, that was the original commissioned artwork that they paid. So this was exclusive to Screen Factory. It's just something that, one, it's really sharp and it's cool, and a lot of people like to switch that over. And I think that's how it even comes brand new. But I prefer the original artwork on some of them, but I had only switched that over just to do the comparison. But then this one, I have had like this for quite a while. Originally when it came, I had this original artwork that they had, but this one only comes with one disc. That one comes with two. There's some special features, and it's chock full of special features. So disc one, all is the feature film. Disc 2 is all your bonus features. And this one here, I don't think there's any compression because I'm pretty sure they use the bigger size discs, where this one here, and I don't remember exactly what it is, this one only has one barcode. So I'm pretty sure this is the smaller disc. And yeah, so this one here, that's your artwork. There's only one disc. Everything's on here, all your special features, and then this is what it looks like. So when you're talking about compression and quality, I honestly have not seen a difference. There probably is a difference because when you switch from like 720 to 1080p, just here on YouTube, you can see like a difference in quality. So I'm sure having the bigger discs, I'm sure you're going to have like a better image, but side by side, watching these movies, I've never really noticed this one's a little bit better than this one. So that is a real thing. Where I might notice some compression issues is in audio. Obviously, I wear glasses, so my vision isn't as great as it should be. My sound, my hearing, my stuff, that's where I've always been with my movies. So I do prefer a better sound. So that's something I might notice on a different compression disc is the audio. If it's something I've seen a million times, I know how it should sound. But other than that, I think they're both the same. I think they both look really, really sharp. But I like the presentation of the Arrow Video version. Now this was a UK one, and this is another one that was region locked to region B, and that's something I had to get my player to really enjoy, and that's why I only have this version, because until I had my player, I had to get this. And so I think when I bought this, I think this was sold out. So I think I bought this, it didn't work in my player, I didn't realize it was region locked. So then I had to track this down. I think I got it on eBay, and it wasn't, I don't think it was crazy expensive because I think it was like just fresh out of print, or it was just used. There was something about it. I think I got this used and I didn't pay a ton for it, but I only picked this up because I couldn't watch this version of it. So that's why I grabbed that one. But then when we talk about like the double dipping and having multiple versions, Trick or Treat is one of my all-time favorite films. So I've had this movie for a very long time. It was a day one purchase. I've had it so long. This was back before when I used to throw away my slipcovers. So this did have a slipcover. I threw it away. I don't have it anymore. I don't throw them away anymore, but I don't care for on standard releases a slipcover, and the boutique labels now, I do keep them, but the other ones, they just go in a box. So this one, I'm pretty sure 100% I threw it away a long time ago, and I know people are going to crucify me over that one. But this one here, I absolutely love it. You can switch the original artwork there. You got art on the disc. It's a Scream Factory. This is something that is the bare minimum standard. But as we go into the Arrow Video version of it, this is the 4K, so I'm not comparing the Blu-ray to the 4K. We're just talking about package presentation. So the fact that you have a slipcover, then you can switch this over, which you could do before. This one, the slipcover was this. So you could always switch it to the original and have that two-tone. But again, it's the thicker case. I like the Arrow Video presentation. It just feels a little bit heavier in the hand. They do all the extras and stuff, and this was a special release, so I think that's why they added all the extras. But when we talk about Arrow Video, and having the extras, you have some disc art there. This was their standard slip version. There was no big giant premium box set like some of the other stuff, like the Barbarella set. You could get the standard, or Conan, you can get the standard, but they had the premium versions. This is all this came in. There was no giant big premium box set, or I would have had it. So, you know, there is a thing about it. So if you're looking at just regular versions, they got them too. They got them too. So now, the other reason I like to talk about this stuff is, you know, people ask me all the time, why would you actually spend all the money on some of this extra stuff? And I said before, this right here, getting the crappy versions of this stuff, it's just not for me. And just to show you that all across the world, well, one, this, no matter how many times I fix it, the things are very short. And so I have to get a new case. Now, I'm trying to collect every single version of my 2 favorite movies. And so if you've never seen me before, Fifth Element, Leon, top 2 favorite movies of all time. I have shelves back there lined with a bunch of different versions of this movie. But I pulled the Fifth Element here because there's a wide variety of things you can get around the world. Now, this one here is the 20th anniversary edition from America. And this is something that, it's simple art. I love it. I've seen it before. But the case, I have to replace it because brand new. And I have a couple of them like this. It's sitting in there nicely now, but just moving it, grabbing it off the shelf, it's very shallow. The discs get dislodged very easily. Sometimes I've been just holding it like this, and they just kind of get dislodged. So something that, if it was your only version, replace the case, not a big deal. But it's one of those things where, oh, I love the movie. I've got multiple versions. One, I hate the Big Ugly Banner. I don't mind the 20th anniversary so much, but that Big Ugly Banner, I've always hated it. I talk about it all the time. So then you'd pick up a different version. Now, as I've talked about this, and this is one of my favorites, I had the Steelbook for years, but I finally grabbed this one. And then somebody was telling me that this version had a better color palette because the way they color graded the 4K on this, and this was done by Studio Canal, this is the UK version. One, I think the artwork is top notch, and so having the different versions is so, you know, you're going to be able to get this. And I purchased this through Amazon. I just found it on Amazon. I purchased it, and I didn't have any problem getting it here. It was shipped right from them, so it's just one of those nice things that Amazon is very, very easy. But I was able to grab this, and it's a different color grade. It's a beautiful picture, and I absolutely love this 4K. Now, being the Studio Canal, they do something different, a little bit thicker case, and the discs have 2 different separations there. So that's something I really appreciate that they do. But then I talk about how I don't like the Big Ugly Banner. I look at other versions of this movie and the different artwork, and that's why I started collecting it. So this company out of Japan, I've got quite a few of them now. It's TC Entertainment. It's a Japanese label, and I just absolutely love how they do business. It's just a beautiful slip box, really sharp. It's got all kinds of like extra stuff in here, but the artwork on it, I think is just something you've never seen before. Absolutely love how they do business. Now this is a Blu-ray, but then Japan is the same region as America, so it just kind of works no problem. And this isn't a 4K, but the Blu-ray here, it's just absolutely top notch. And then it says region A for Japan only, which is weird because it works perfectly fine and they shipped it to me. But then that interior artwork. So again, it's more about the collector and who you are as a collector and what's more important to you. If it's just getting a simple movie, grab the cheapest one off Amazon. But as you start collecting, I think it's really going to fall into your own personal preferences. So I can recommend all of these movies. For The Fifth Element, if I were to only have one and I couldn't have the other versions, I would have chose this one. I think it's just all around really sharp. And I love the white case and everything about it. So this is the one I would have picked if I could only have one version of it. But the other versions I have, I think, are just also top notch. And because I'm trying to collect them all, I don't think I could part with any of them. So yeah, this is something that, you know, I looked into the Japan stuff and found this TC Entertainment. Really just, and again, you can find this on Amazon America. Like, this is available to purchase through there, but you could also go to Amazon Japan and have it sent to you. This is another version. This is something from France. So Fnac, F-N-A-C. I think I'm pronouncing it right, but Fnac. This is something that, this was their premium edition box set, a big giant collector thing, and something that's not for everybody, but you could just buy this simple plain steelbook from them as well. And so again, it's something that it might not be the label, it might be the movie that drives you into getting this. And so this is something that, for people that love the film, this was a must. I remember when I found it and I was trying to do research on it, it was already sold out. So I had to get this on the used market. But as I was trying to find out about it, there's tons of forums of people all over the world trying to get this version of it. So it's something that I absolutely love, and I think it's just really sharp. So again, and for the version, the quality, I think is absolutely top notch. I think the transfer is amazing, and I'm not sure if they use a transfer for somebody else or they did their own, but when I watched it, the day I watched it, I think to me, it looked the best that it had ever looked. And so it's just one of those things that I don't necessarily think it's because it was the newest one I had bought at the time and I was super excited about it. I really did think it was just a little bit better than the rest. So, and again, and I wasn't the only one that said that. There was a few people that claim that this is the very best transfer out of anything. Like, you have a different transfer with the UK version here being a different color grade, but this one here, it just popped in a way that was different from all the rest. And so it really all depends. And then this one here is one that it's a movie I like, but I grew up watching this. It's very controversial, and I have both versions. I have the Kino and the Imprint. Imprint came out first, and Kino came out second, and they're the exact same transfer. Paramount did the restoration from a 4K, and it's the exact same transfer for both of these. I don't think they did anything with them, but then I remember when I watched them, I think the opening scene of this one had a little bit, brighter in the beginning, but the whole rest of the film I think looks exactly the same. So it's just that opening scene in the very beginning I think was a little bit brighter on this version of it. But other than that, from what I understand, nobody did anything. There's no difference in color grade. There's no difference there. So I'm not sure why. Because once I saw that, I did pop the other disc in, so there was no time to change the settings, or my memory might have changed. It was like one after another. I was like, there's something off with it. Got to check it out. So yeah, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. A little bit differences, but I think you have a better image on the Imprint version. But then you're also getting this, where I'll show you this one first. So this is your Kino Lorber. It's the exact same. And with Kino Lorber being very plain, you have just a simple interior, that art there, not a big deal. If you were only going to have one version of the movie, this is the cheapest way to go. And it has a slipcover. It's a very nice Blu-ray. There's nothing wrong with this Blu-ray. Same special features, same stuff. Great Blu-ray. But being a collector and liking the nicer stuff, this one right here, you have that art. And then as you take this out, you have different art. And that's something I've never seen before. And just really sharp. Absolutely love it. The pink just works. And then again, you have interior art with art on the disc. So this is just something that I think Imprint knocks it out of the park for me. I'm a huge fanboy. There have been movies that I own on Blu-ray through Imprint, and after the 4K gets announced from another company, I've never upgraded because usually the Blu-ray I have is from some kind of restoration, and a 2K scan, a 4K scan, and it looks really, really good. And so, you know, just that justification to get rid of my Imprint to upgrade to something else to have the 4K for like a slightly better picture. I've been a fanboy from day one, and I just love Imprint. I've got an entire row there. All those films there are Imprint in that middle row. So I've got a ton of them, and I'm just a huge fanboy, and I love the box sets they do. The big box sets, they're all numbered. The same thing. So these, even though they come in the box set, they're still individually numbered on the shelf. They look great. The symmetry, everything about it, and just like this here, you know, you have that artwork that's very familiar, but yet different at the same time. Again, interior art. So yeah, that's where I'm at with all these. Those are my favorites. That's everywhere to get them. I hope this helped you out. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, what you're getting. And any other thoughts, anything I might have missed, let me know in the comments down below. To learn everything you need to know about region-free players, you're going to want to check out this video right here. And with that, remember to watch a movie today, and I'll catch you guys next time.